Welcome, everyone. This is Greg Rock, and on behalf of BPM Institute and Savvion, I'd like to welcome you to today's roundtable, Do You Know Your BPMS Usage Patterns? We're thrilled today to have Dr. Ketabchi with us, President and CEO and founder of Savvion, talking about very important issues and selection criteria for those of you that are considering an investment in BPMS and continuous process improvement initiatives at your organization. As many of you know, our roundtable series is one of the ways in which BPM Institute promotes knowledge sharing and networking amongst our members and the BPM community at large. We do this through our website, our conference series, our training programs, our magazines, and our electronic newsletters. You can find additional details on those on our website. I have a few quick housekeeping items today, and then we'll get right underway. The issue that we're talking about today is understanding your BPMS usage patterns. One of the quick notes I wanted to make is that for those of you that are attending the roundtable today, you also will receive a complimentary white paper from Savvion, Understanding Usage Patterns and Enterprise BPMS Must Support. And one of the mantras that BPM Institute has been speaking to for the past several years is that a BPMS provides you with important tools and technologies to deliver the value of BPM, and it does so in a cost-effective way. We're often asked, when is the right time to purchase a BPMS, and what will it do for our organization? And today's roundtable will address both of those things, but we've long held that organizations that are committing to a continuous process improvement initiative ultimately will turn to a BPMS in order to support that across the organization. What we will focus on today, and Dr. Ketabchi will share with us feedback from their customers and clients and the latest development within Savvion's offerings, and the very important topic of usage patterns, which we believe is key to help you future-proof your BPMS investment and avoid the expense for new tools when the need for other usage patterns arise. Dr. Ketabchi is a real pioneer in the space and all issues around BPM. And we've been lucky enough to be partnering with Savvion for these past many years and supporting us in helping to spread knowledge and education around the topic. Dr. Ketabchi was also a full-time professor at Santa Clara University when he founded Savvion back in 1994. And under his leadership, Savvion launched the first BPMS product in the marketplace in 1999. And since then, they've built a strong customer base of leading enterprises globally. It's been a very profitable company and continue to grow now. And so without further delay, I'd like to turn things over to Dr. Ketabchi.
Thanks, Greg, and thanks for everyone for attending our webinar today. As Greg described, we are going to talk about an important topic, BPMS usage patterns, which is also an important criteria for those of you who are in the process of selecting enterprise BPM now, or you will in future. Probably many of you already know what BPM and BPMS are. But I thought for the sake of completeness, I will take a few minutes and talk about a few basic things about BPM and BPMS before we dive into usage scenarios. BPM as a discipline provides ability to define, document, and analyze business processes. Why is this important? It is important because unless a process has been made explicit, it will be hard to improve it on an ongoing basis. It also provides the ability to rapidly turn business processes that you have defined into agile applications that provide visibility into business operations. We are going to talk about agility and visibility a little bit more. Additionally, a BPM and BPMS tool provides the ability to define monitor and improve business processes and increase efficiency by improving those processes. That is, once the process is made executable, people who are responsible for performance of those processes, business managers and operation managers, can monitor the performance of the process in real time and improve it while processes are in execution. Last but not least, BPM as a discipline encourages and facilitates collaboration and interface between IT and business. This is very important because unless business and IT community within enterprise can communicate with each other effectively, they will not be able to define, build, and operate business applications effectively. Business value of BPM realized by implementation of BPM, which we refer to as BPMS, BPM system, provides visibility into business operations in real time. Understanding what is going on now allows you to identify bottlenecks and potentially address them. You want to address issues immediately, often by changing business application or parameters around business application, such as allocation of resources to performance of various tasks in the process. That we refer to agility to change and adopt your business processes as your business operations and conditions of your business change. Of course, efficiency, that is ability to utilize resources effectively, achieve objectives quickly, optimize business operations are very important, especially these days. And BPM allows you to do that as well. Again, it is important that business community is empowered with the visibility, with agility, with ability to achieve efficiency. These are not IT, and it can't be exclusive IT operations. Business people know these things well, and they need to be able to achieve by themselves. Of course, all of these need to be done with least total cost of ownership of a BPMS so that you can achieve very high ROI in investment in your investment in BPMS. Let us now talk a little bit about Savvion. Savvion is headquartered in Santa Clara, California, and has a relatively large subsidiary in India. Savvion as a company has been focused on BPM and delivering BPMS products into the market for many years. We have a comprehensive BPM suite of products, independent of domain, applicable, usable in every domain. But recently, we have also introduced business foundations on top of BPMS, which allows different vertical companies to deploy BPMS a lot faster than they can otherwise. Savvion is known as the innovative enterprise BPM leader. If you look at BPM evaluation by various analysts, you will see that Savvion has been recognized as BPM leader year over year, almost in every analyst evaluation of BPM companies. One of the things that we at Savvion are very proud of is our customer base, which consists of leading enterprises worldwide in financial services, telecommunication, high-tech manufacturing, and other verticals. Let me share with you examples of our customers who have achieved BPM values, visibility, agility, business empowerment, high ROI, with least TCO using our products. These are examples of our customers in financial and banking vertical. I trust you know many of these companies. These companies run their core business processes, mission critical business processes on top of Savvion, and they achieve significant business improvement results as using our product. Examples of our customers in telecommunication include who is who of telecom world, such as Level 3, Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, and TDC in Europe. In high-tech manufacturing, companies such as Sun Microsystems, Motorola, ENI, and others use our product again in their core mission-critical business processes. Our customers are not limited to three verticals: financial services, communication, and high-tech manufacturing. We have leading companies as our customers in other verticals such as healthcare, business process outsourcing, retail, and pharmaceutical. I want to emphasize that the names you see on this slide are only examples of our large customer base, and they are very representative of the kind of companies who utilize our product effectively. Let me now talk a little bit about products and services we offer. We provide a comprehensive business process analysis products which enable business analysts to define, analyze, document their business processes very effectively. When they decide to make those processes executable, they utilize our business process solution products to turn the processes they have defined and analyzed into business applications. And of course, the key participants in that step of BPM lifecycle is taken by business solution developers. Those can be part of enterprise IT of organizations, or of course as part of line of business ITs. Processes that are in execution or have been defined can be monitored and analyzed for further improvement. That we refer to as business process improvement, and we provide extensive products to make business process improvement easy and readily possible. Of course, business managers and operation managers are the main audience for business process improvement. In addition to these products, which form a comprehensive set of integrated products out of the box to support the whole BPM lifecycle end-to-end, we provide business process services, which includes process discovery and articulation services, business process solution development services, as well as services to support the ongoing operation of business process solutions and BPM Center of Excellence. Our BPM suite of products include components that have been designed and packaged in such a way to make BPM functionality readily available by the users of that functionality, and as a whole achieve least total cost of ownership. The BPM or BPM suite includes components such as process modeler. Process modeler again allows business analysts to define their business processes and analyze them very easily regardless of how complex those business processes are. Of course, many companies have many people, many business analysts who are responsible for various business processes across the enterprise, and often they want to collaborate in defining business processes and share processes with each other. To facilitate that, we have another component, process asset manager, which enables enterprises to treat their business processes as important enterprise assets that they are. The process asset manager comes with a repository which is enterprise-wide and allows processes to be checked in, checked out, revised, shared, and evolved over time. Again, at some point you will decide that you want to turn your business process into an application. For that, we provide a comprehensive workbench which allows you to easily enrich business processes that you have defined for execution. And once you deploy those business processes, as we talked about, participants in the process can execute their tasks easily because they receive all the information necessary for them to perform their tasks effectively. While business participants perform their tasks and processes move forward, business operation managers who are responsible for the performance of processes are responsible to make sure processes meet their SLAs, can use business experts to monitor, analyze, and improve processes on an ongoing basis. We have seen among our customers that often when they build business process solutions, they need business rule management functionality as well as document management functionality. Again, to reduce their total cost of ownership, as part of our BPM suite, we provide a complete business rule management system and comprehensive document management functionality, including integration with various document management systems out there out of the box. The way that these components have been designed and operate and have been packaged reduces the amount of time and effort and cost of deployment of our BPM suite. Let me try to map these components to the three key areas of business process management that we discussed. That is business process analysis, business process solution, and business process improvement. The first two components, process modeler and process asset manager, are key to achieving business process analysis, BPA. BPM Studio ability to enrich processes for execution, of course servers and runtime environment for the execution, business rule management and document management systems to support the execution of processes which require those functionality, all are about business process solutions. That is turning business processes that you have defined and analyzed into business applications. Business process management portal and business expert are key components for enabling business process improvement on an ongoing basis. Of course, this is a life cycle. That is, you may start with business process analysis, make the process executable, monitor the execution of the process, and then decide that you want to go back and modify the process model to achieve significant improvements beyond what we can achieve by distribution of resources and changing parameters around the process. In fact, by changing the model of the process and redeploying the business process solutions. All of these take very little effort, can be done very quickly to ensure the agility that you expect from your business process management suite. As we discussed briefly, business process management, of course, is generic in that it is not by itself specific to telecommunication, financial services, or other verticals. The business process management suite we discussed is equally applicable to every one of application vertical domains. However, we all know that there are certain things that keep repeating within a domain. As an example, in every domain there are certain applications that are utilized almost with every process, and therefore every time you build a business process solution, say in financial services, you need to integrate a set of applications into your processes. Well, those applications are different in telecommunication and healthcare. Also, there are industry standards, regulation and requirements in every one of these domains that are specific to that domain and are different from other domains. In order to account for these domain-specific functionality, what we have done is to introduce business foundations on top of business process management system. These business foundations, again, capture all the reusable components, functionality, forms, integration touchpoints within each domain. And we have already announced and released business foundations for banking and financial services, for telecommunication, for life sciences, for case management, and global supply chain. Some of these foundations are built by Savvion, and some of these foundations are built by Savvion and our solution alliance partners together with Savvion. Once you have a comprehensive business process management system, as we described, and a domain foundation you need on top of it, building business process solutions, that is turning business processes into application, becomes a lot simpler. It actually reduces to customizing business processes, customizing interfaces to steps in those processes, modifying business rules, and basically building the application business process solution you want simply by customization and configuration, which reduces, of course, time and effort required for building your business solutions. Let's now talk about the usage patterns of BPM. We have been working with our customers now for almost 9 years to help them achieve their business process improvement objectives, make their business process management programs and initiatives successful, build business process center of excellence internally. As a result of extensive interactions with our customers, we have seen again and again that they need full functionality out of the box from their BPMS to be able to address 7 important usage patterns. Some of those usage patterns are well known. The well understood, well-known usage patterns include human-centric processes, which can be long-running, unlike system-centric processes, which are often straight-through processing with some exceptions, as well as document-centric processes, processes that involve extensive use of document, and their execution often results into generating a new document or modifying existing documents. Human-centric, document-centric, and system-centric usage patterns are very well recognized, but the fact is that the usage pattern we see again and again our customers need to support are not limited to these three only. There are in fact 4 other important usage patterns. Those are decision-centric processes, case management processes, project-centric processes, and event-centric processes. These 7 usage patterns are very important, and you need your BPMS to support all usage patterns, all these 7 usage patterns, to be an enterprise business process management. Because you will agree with me that you wouldn't want to have 7 different BPMS or even 3-4 BPMS only because one BPMS supports a subset of these 7 usage patterns and the other one supports a different subset. So you end up with multiple business process management systems in your enterprise, which of course increases total cost of ownership, complexity, and overlap among different systems. Ideally, you need one enterprise business process management system which supports all 7 usage scenarios. Let's just spend a few minutes to talk about these usage patterns, given that human-centric, document-centric, and system-centric are rather well understood. I will skip those. Case management usage pattern require extensive analytics about cases that need to be handled, and those cases often are handled by agents, and ideally agents have an interface which enable them to immediately receive the case through various channels, be it a fax, a phone, a web, email, and ideally handle the case in one interaction with the customer. So in order to enable that one and done scenario, the interface for case management applications need to be very comprehensive, as you see in this screen. Of course, not all cases can be handled with one interaction, and they need to go through the extensive processing which the system again must support. So when it comes to case management, notion of allocating cases based on the skills of agents, enabling those agents to be very effective in resolving cases, as well as ability to track a case at all times very quickly, very easily, are very, very important. Decision support usage patterns involve a variety of rules in the solution. Those rules may be data-driven rules, or the rules may be triggered by occurrence of certain business events. Often complex decisions need to be made, and those decisions of course are subject to business rules in the enterprise. There are also validation rules for every data element that is entered through the business process solutions, and in order to make the interactions of the users with the system very effective, there are rules as to what interfaces, what data elements need to appear depending on the situation in the task interface of a user, of a task performer. So when we talk about rule, it is not just one type of rule. There are various types, and it is not sufficient that your BPMS supports one or the other. In order for a BPMS to meet the decision centric usage pattern, all these types of rules need to be supported. We provide a comprehensive business rule management system, as we discussed, to define comprehensive, rather complex rule bases. Of course, the event-driven rules, decision support rules, data validation, as well as user interface rules are all supported. One interesting and important usage pattern which has rarely been talked about, but is very frequent, in fact, and extremely important, is project-oriented usage pattern. This is about the overlap between process portfolio management and business process management. It is now becoming well understood that, in fact, there are situations which lend themselves to project portfolio management as well as to business process management. However, a pure PPM, project portfolio management, does not meet all the requirements of the usage pattern. Also, many business process management systems don't meet all the requirements of the usage pattern. In order to meet the requirements of this important usage pattern, you need a BPMS which supports many of the PPM concepts, such as ability to define a process like project, ability to define milestones and phases, allow you to optimize resource utilization, the type of things that often process portfolio management tools do, but business process management systems do not. What we have done, we provide comprehensive functionality to address all the requirements of this important usage pattern. You can define your process like a project, as shown in this screen, and the system will immediately generate for you the process diagram as you would often define your processes. Not only the system will generate the process view of your project, but at any point in time you can change any one of these representations, and the system will ensure the consistency between the two presentations. That is, if you change the project view, the system will immediately reflect it in process view and vice versa. So these two are automatically interchangeable. Once you have the project view of process, you are enabled to do variety of important analysis which often you are not able to do with pure business process management systems. Of course, all the simulation capability that you have for project management, for process management, now is available to you for project management as well. And you can easily view the paths, possible execution paths to your project as well as through your process. What this diagram shows is that there are four alternative ways that your project can come to its logical completion, and it also details out what are the major steps in each one of those four paths to completion. Again, based on our observations, based on what we have seen among our customers, This is very important usage pattern, and it is not supported by a traditional classic business process management systems. Event-centric usage pattern is key for improving business processes that are already in execution. As an example, if you are a telecom company, you already have order processing system. However, you want to improve your order processing process by monitoring the execution of those processes without needing to rebuild your entire business, your entire order management system. In other words, you want to be able to capture all the events from underlying systems which execute your order management, and then you want to be able to process these events into a dashboard which at any point in time, in real time, provides you with visibility into how your orders are being processed based on the way you process your orders. So you make the order processing process explicit, you define metrics around it into a dashboard, events are received and processed which populate the dashboard with the information that are easily mappable to your process so that you would understand where the bottlenecks are in your process. Now this enables you the cycle of model your process, monitor the execution of the process, and improve it on an ongoing basis without again needing to re-implement your underlying system. Very, very important objective many companies have. In conclusion, BPM values, as we discussed, are delivered through BPA, business process analysis, BPS, business process solution, and BPI, business process improvement. It is important that your business process management enables all three of these flexibly. What does that mean is it should not force you into a very rigid, hard-coded pattern. Many BPMSs actually will do that. For example, you would not be able to improve your process unless you make the process executable, whether you can already execute that process or not. What we have made sure is that you can do any one of these three important things independently of the other in any order you want. You may actually decide that you want to turn a very important mission critical process into a process solution right away, and then begin improving that process. Or you may decide that you want to improve the process using event-centric usage pattern we discussed, and at a later point in time come back and turn that process into a new business application which replaces your existing application for further improvement. So again, I want to emphasize not only it is important that you are able to do all these three, but it is important that you do them flexibly in any order you want. Our customers have consistently done this, and as a result they have achieved very high ROI with very low TCO. Again, imagine a scenario where you want to improve performance of a process that is already in execution through underlying applications. Then consider two scenarios of BPMS. One, a BPMS which forces you to change the implementation of the process before you can achieve the improvement, versus a BPMS which allows you to improve it immediately and if necessary at a later point in time, change the execution of the process. Clearly, that second BPM will allow you to achieve your ROI a lot faster with significantly less TCO. And that is what we have tried and achieved with our BPM suite. The business process management products Savvion provides, which we discussed very briefly, supports all 7 usage patterns we discussed. Again, this is very important because you don't want to have many business process management systems because each supports a subset of the 7 usage patterns that you need to support. We have made sure that our system supports all 7 usage patterns so that you wouldn't need multiple BPMS. It is very important that your BPMS, in addition to functionality, ease of use, providing BPA, BPS, BPI, and supporting all 7 usage patterns, is scalable, high performance, and highly available. This is very important because once you rely on BPM, you cannot afford it to be down, you cannot afford it to be slow, and you cannot shut it down to add servers, increase compute power so that you can maintain a scalability. Your business process management system must run at all time, non-stop, and you should be able to add resources to maintain the high performance response time while your load is increasing without needing to shut down your system. Again, this is important because once you rely on BPMS to run your business, you can't afford it to be down. Every one of these flexible support of 3 key areas of BPM, high ROI, low TCO, 7 usage patterns, scalability and high availability and high performance are important selection criteria for you to apply when the time comes to select and deploy a business process management. I will stop and address your questions if you have any.
Okay.
Greg, back to you.
All right, Dr. Ketabchi, thank you very much. And we appreciate you giving the members of our community that overview of these usage patterns and things that you've seen through interactions and the support of your customers. And I think we would certainly echo your last piece of advice of having folks, consider, the application of the BPMS beyond just a point solution, and especially the ability to have a tool that they can rely on that allows them to have an iterative approach to continuing to improve the processes within the organization and working with a flexible product. And so we appreciate you sharing that insight with our folks. And I do have a number of questions that maybe we could get to before we run out of our time today. And so let me have at those now. You covered a number of different scenarios, and one question I had for you is, do you see all of these scenarios amongst all your customers, or are there some common grouping of scenarios that you see more often than others?
Actually, Greg, as I mentioned, because we have been working with so many large enterprises doing BPM for so many years, over time we see many of these usage patterns within the enterprises of our customers. it is important to note that when they start BPM, they may start it based on certain specific processes and certain specific usage patterns. However, their use of BPM over time expands, and while they may not have had in mind that they need their BPMS to support, for example, event-centric usage pattern as well, while they may start with human-centric usage pattern initially, very quickly as the use of BPMS expands, they see that they need to support all the other patterns as well. Again, I can hardly find any one of our large customers who has a single usage pattern. They may not have all 7 yet, but they have several of those usage patterns already, and I expect that as their deployment of BPM within enterprise expands, they are going to run into other usage patterns.
All right, great. And have you found, are any of the scenarios, vertical industry specific that you've found that show up more times than others in any of the verticals we discussed earlier?
Exactly. As I mentioned, over time, they end up by having multiple scenarios, but different industries often start by focusing initially on different usage scenarios. As an example, document management, document-centric usage pattern, case management usage pattern, human-centric usage pattern. These are very common and frequent in financial services, banking vertical. The decision support rule-based usage pattern is very common in insurance. Event-centric usage pattern is very common in telecommunication initially. Again, while they may focus on one usage pattern versus another from one vertical to another initially, but over time they all have most of these usage patterns.
All right, great. Well, Dr. Ketabchi, if I can switch gears on you for 1 second. One of the areas of coverage that we've had demand for over the years, and we have a dedicated section of the website that addresses business rules specifically, so I believe that our members have, at least a rough handle on what it is. But you mentioned BRMS integration with the suite. For some of our members that may not be that familiar with business rules, could you give us a quick summary of why it's important and the value that a business rules provides within the suite?
Absolutely. Some business process solutions, Greg, have steps which are heavily rule-based. As an example, assignment of tasks to different agents in a case management situation is subject to variety of rules. That is, depending on what the case is, based on predefined set of rules, which often change frequently, you want to assign different tasks to different types of agents you have. Well, because the set of rules which govern the assignment of variety of cases to many types of agents is heavily rule-based, and the rule set is complex, you need a full-function business rule management system which allows you to define those rules rather independently from the process, but invoke the execution of those rules when you need to route a case to different agents. Another example would be insurance claim processing. how you calculate reimbursement for a claim is subject to a set of complex rules which change from a state to a state, from type of insurance, based on type of insurance, and those rules often change. So it is important that in addition to process, you have business rule management system to define and maintain those set of rules which are invoked from your process solution when the calculation of claim is required. Why is it important that those rules are defined in a comprehensive, complete BRMS rather than embedded completely in the process? Is that those rules change often. Those rules are owned potentially by a different part of your organization that owns the process, and therefore it needs to be managed rather independently while it is integrated seamlessly with the process in execution. So again, in many applications we see that having business rule management system fully integrated with business process management, but nevertheless with independent, with the ability to change rules independently are very important.
All right, great. Thank you for that. And in the time we have left, I'm hoping we can still address two more quick questions. I was hoping you could revisit for us the whole concept of project-oriented process and how that overlaps with PPM.
Yes, that is very important, and it is interesting that it is a usage pattern that has not been very well recognized and supported by most existing business process management systems. Even though, again, it is very, very frequent. I will have hard time, Greg, to find a customer of us who has deployed BPM and does not have a solution based on a project-oriented process usage pattern. Simply put, there are many situations where the capabilities of project management and process management combined are required to address the requirement of usage pattern. Again, traditionally, project management and process management systems have been completely independent, have evolved independently, and there hasn't been a system which provides the combined functionality. As a result, users have been forced to make one of the two, in a sense, bad choices. That is, use PPM and be forced to let go some of their key requirements, or use BPM and let go a different set of their important requirements. What we have done with supporting project-oriented process usage pattern is that we have enhanced our BPM with the functionality of PPM which is required in these usage patterns, so that now our customers can use one system and meet all their requirements in that usage pattern.
Well, I think that's a key differentiator, Dr. Ketabchi, for your capabilities in the latest release of the product. You know, as you know, we've got a large contingent of project managers within our community, and folks may also want to refer to some of the earlier webcasts that we've done with Savvion that focused on that very point about tying those two issues together. So I think we've done a good job of giving advice today to folks and giving them some things to think about in their decision process. So I guess the million-dollar question then would be, could you give our members an overview, Dr. Ketabchi, of the different options they have for accessing your products and services?
Absolutely, Greg. First of all, have in the past provided a comprehensive set of products that we taught on-premise. However, over time, based on, again, requirements of our customers, we have extended the delivery mechanism of our products beyond on-premise deployment. We provide a complete hosting services. That is, if a customer of ours wants to deploy BPM exclusively to them, but not on-premise, then we are able to create a dedicated environment for that customer and operationalize, in a sense, their BPM and BPM deployment and infrastructure in a hosted mode. So they have all the security, all the control over their BPMS deployment, but nevertheless, they don't have to build infrastructure, they don't have to build a team. We provide all of that. We have gone, of course, beyond that further. All the products that we discussed today are available on subscription basis as on demand. We are going to actually, in few months, announce various improvements of SaaS on-demand delivery of our product components. Our goal is to take away all the barriers from adopting, which may prevent or delay adopting BPM by large, small, medium-sized enterprises, and make it really very, very easy for everyone to deploy BPM and get the benefits of BPM and improve their business.
All right, fantastic. Well, Dr. Ketabchi, I'd like to thank you once again for sharing your expertise with our members. We'll continue to look forward to the continued developments as you push the envelope of the product and BPM thinking in general. And we'll make sure to keep our community updated as those things come along. I'd like to thank those of you that are attending today's webcast, and we look forward to hosting you on an upcoming webcast. For those of you that are located on the West Coast, our largest West Coast gathering, Brainstorm San Francisco, will be taking place at the end of June, June 29th to July 2nd, and we look forward to having an opportunity of getting together with you face-to-face during that week. Thank you, everyone, for your time once again, and thank you to the folks at Savvion in hosting today's roundtable.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everyone, for attending our webinar.